Hi Metalheads, willkommen zu Metalheads Forever Show 959 am 23.09.2025. Schön, dass ihr dabei seid zum nächsten Interview mit Band. Heute ein ganz spezieller Gast, ein wiederkehrender Täter, der schon vor ein paar Jahren bei uns war. Ashes of Ares ist heute ein Großprogramm, liebe Freunde. Und wer auf den Sound steht, der wird heute voll bedient, denn ich spiele Videos von allen 4 Albums und EP. Also seid dabei und es wird heute, kann man sagen, ein reines Rock of Ages Records Special, denn nicht ausschalten, nach dem Interview geht es gleich weiter mit 5 Videos, alle vom Label Rock of Ages Records. Also bleibt dran, erstmal gibt's geilen Anfang mit Mystic Prophecy, mit meinem speziellen, das ist mein Lieblingssong von Mystic Prophecy und zwar Dracula. Ich würde sagen, let the madness begin.
The darkest black, thirsty for your blood, ready for the final last attack. His eyes red like fire, his blood cold as ice. Her blood is on desire, one season twice, and your soul's the price. Dracula, soul on fire, his blood cold as ice. Dracula, blood desire, evil legend, the devil never dies. Dracula, rising higher, fly through the darkest black. Dracula, kill desire, bloodlust, attack, attack, attack. They terrorize you in your sleepless nights. Hypnotized, you drown in blood before you die. Your cross a silver bullet, Bible beaches on the ground. How can you face this demon when he comes around? Forever unbound. Dracula, soul on fire, his blood cold as ice. Dracula, blood desire, evil legend, the devil never dies. Dracula, rising higher, fly through the darkest black. Dracula, kill desire, bloodlust, attack, attack, attack.
Das war Dracula von Mystic Prophecy. Und jetzt gibt es mal Sound und dann noch Interview. Hier sind Ashes of Ares und Wake of Vultures Attacke. And now, welcome to the show, all the way from Arizona, Freddie from Ashes of Ares. Yes.
Hello, hello.
Is it right? Ares, Ashes of Ares, right?
Correct. Yes, like the Greek god of war.
All right, here we go. It took you a long time. You know, when was the first time in the show?
I don't remember.
It was show number 218.
Wow.
On November 8th, 2021. So between this time and now, there are now a lot of albums, and today will be a special. It will be Ashes of Ares special from videos from all albums, all 4 albums plus EP. So we have for all fans, this will be a fantastic night full of great tunes and great videos.
Excellent.
But what is always important for all people who don't know you, maybe it's the first time that they hear music, and so unfortunately, Matt Barlow is not here. He's at work, unfortunately. But if you see this interview later, Matt, I greet you. Last time you was here, this time, unfortunately not. But Freddie told me he knows everything, so it's no problem. But the first question always, this is from day one, I want to know, or we want to know, who are you? How you became a metalhead? What was the first taste of rock and roll? What brought you to music? Was it the instrument? Was it the music? Was it the record collection of the dad? You're born in USA?
Yeah.
So you grew up with the greats, I guess, in the great time. I get our lucky time, the 80s, I guess, maybe 70s. So what was the first taste of rock and roll for you?
I was actually going to Catholic school in Hawaii, and a friend of mine gave me this. You know, I saw Ozzy on MTV, and I really liked it. You know, in Hawaii we didn't get, like in the mainland, we didn't get the music right away. It was a big delay for Hawaii to get music, so he saw I liked Ozzy, and he handed me a cassette, which was Iron Maiden Live After Death, and that was it. When I heard that, forget it. That was my life from that point on. So a couple years later, I picked up a guitar for the first time. Really liked it. Spent my whole teenage years just playing it in my room, and you know, I'm still doing it.
Ozzy, what time? With Randy Rhoads or with Jackie Lee or with Tech?
Jackie Lee. It was the Ultimate Sin, which they were playing Shot in the Dark on MTV a lot, and you know, I saw it on, you know, my grandparents. I went to their house. They had cable. We didn't. I turned it on. I'm like, what is this?
Jackie Lee is great.
Oh yeah.
I was happy to see him at the concert.
Yeah, it was awesome. I just wish he would have played one of his own songs.
Well, okay, there was Zach there, and Zach was longer than Jake Lee.
Yeah, I know,
but yeah. So when Ozzy passed away, must be a shock for you too, huh? Because he's our hero. It's
It's you know, everybody knew it was coming eventually, but you know, like I think years ago, my wife and I just said to each other, it's going to be weird one day when Ozzy dies, isn't it? We're like, yeah. And we just had that random thought, you know, because you think about all your childhood heroes, and at some point they're not going to be here. And now we're at that point now, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah. And unfortunately, all our heroes, Dio, Lemmy, Ozzy, and it goes on and on now. You can wait the next 10 years. They're all gone, maybe, you know. But we have you here. That is important.
Okay.
So can we say that Jake Lee was your first hero then? Was this the biggest, or was Ozzy the taste that I want to be a rock guitar?
No, it was actually Iron Maiden. You know, Ozzy, I started liking heavy metal music, but then once I heard Iron Maiden, it was just a switch change, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. You know, and then I was hooked. I just got my hands on them and started, you know, Metallica, and just started learning everything I could, how to play everything just by listening, you know, on a cassette tape.
All right, cool. I tell you, I listen all the songs today, and I love the new album. Congratulations to the brand new album, New Messiahs. What a killer! And what I love, it's the trademark of Ashes of Ares is not only it's heavy, yet it's also a lot of feelings, and the unique voice of Matt. It's even with ballads. So there's one special song we have to talk today. Is one of the loveliest videos ever. But later we just listened to Wake of Vultures, and this will be your kick-out song. So we not waste time now. I would say we go right to the Emperors and Fools album 2022, and it's Emperors and Fools. Here's the song, and here we go.
Tragedy lies in wait for those who don't heed its call. History speaks again and again of the many faults of men, shepherds leading flocks astray, the predator to prey owns their set upon the field. Kings know their fate is sealed. Though it's often said we learn from our mistakes, it's all said for naught if we don't read from the same page. Most truths are self-explained by the nature of the thing, but lives contrived are meant to divide by emperors and kings, kings and lords, emperors and lords. We battle blindly when we can't discern the truth. Kings and lords, emperors and lords, dare to repeat the past now or ever
This was Emperors and Fools, the title track of the album. Fantastic song. Give me to every video a little short story. Maybe you have some memories of the recording or what it means. I guess Matt is the guy who writes the lyrics and you write the music. Is it like this?
For the most part, yeah. But there's a lot of songs that Matt came up with the music for, and then I took it and kind of transformed it. And there's quite a few songs where I wrote lyrics for, and Matt took those lyrics and changed them and fit them a little bit. So in all reality, we both share equally in the writing of music and lyrics.
Yeah. Is there a short story to the song?
To Emperors and Fools. Yeah, it's it's kind of like the phrase comes from the Count of Monte Cristo. There's a scene where he says we're either all emperors or fools, and Matt kind of took that and just expanded. So I gave him the music for it, and I had no idea what it was going to be about, and then he just kind of had that idea in his head from watching that movie, and he stuck it in there. We went back and forth with refining it, and it came out the way it did. But there's a song on Judas Priest's Angel of Retribution album called Angel. I think subliminally I had that in my head when I was writing it. So if you go and listen to the Judas Priest song, you'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of similar.
All right, cool. I think it's time to go right in to the new album, From Hell He Rides. And here we go.
Oh, 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 oh,
From Hell He Writes. Very, very cool. Love it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. That one, there's been a pattern on every single album. We've always included a song about some kind of comic book character. Every album's got at least one song. So when we were coming up with what we're going to write this one about, Matt threw out a couple of ideas, and one of them was Ghost Rider. And I said, yeah, let's do that one, because I'm a huge fan of Nicolas Cage, and he did both, the Ghost Rider movies. And it just was one of those things where, again, Matt came up with lyrics. I don't think I had any music for it. So I just read his lyrics and kind of put the character in my head and threw the music out. And we spit out, it came out to be a really fast-paced song. So we're happy with that, definitely.
And I'm happy also with the album cover. I love it. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. That's
New Messiahs.
That's again, our artist, Camille, out of Poland. He's just man, he can kind of read our minds when it comes to what we want to see on an album, and he does great work. We love working with him.
All right. What was the idea?
So New Messiahs, basically, it's not written about a specific person or a specific event, but just kind of the overall theme that, there's these people that control the world, and they're kind of telling you need them, and they want you to rely on them, but then they abuse that power, and just they do whatever they want. They shape the world however they want, just to get their own benefit, and you just kind of have to be a slave to it almost.
It's strange. I heard today. Strange. It has nothing to do with this now, but because it's happens right now in USA, and it is the killing of Charlie Kirk, and I heard today that for many fans of Charlie Kirk, they're calling it like a new Messiah, like this was it's hit me when I heard this, it's different topic now, but. So how this show is not political. So just let them know. But is it at the moment difficult in America right now? To even
it's always difficult. It's always difficult in America, one way or the other. But it's difficult across the world. Everything's relatively the same. It's just every country has their own things to deal with. That's all.
Yeah. Good luck. We have music here, and we don't have to talk about politics because I watch more the American TV on not the German TV, and also because it's more exciting, but it's also frightening what's going on, and yeah. Because I have so many friends and musicians, and so now the next video I played before. I remember this. This is the Alien from the Well of Souls album from 2018. And we play this now, and then you give me a short story to the Alien. The alien. Give me the story, my man.
Yeah, so it's a situation where, well, we have to put a comic book character, on this, and it's about Superman. So it's exactly what it's about. So, but there's a parallel to I guess there's a parallel to Jesus or whomever, whatever religion sees as kind of their savior, But in this case, Superman was kind of, he comes down from another planet to save humanity. And so the lyrics are kind of, he mentions Man of Steel in the lyrics. So the lyrics are pretty straightforward. It's about Superman. The music is we just wanted to write something pretty brutal and fast with, that you could sing about Superman. Just kind of, the fast parts in it. I kind of just pictured how fast he flew around the planet several times to reverse it and everything. So we just kind of take the stories, the comic, and just try to link the music to what's going on in the comics.
What inspired Matt when he writes lyrics? Daily life, or he likes history, or what is he driven?
Pretty much everything. Obviously he's a huge comic book nerd, so he's into that stuff. He has a beautiful family, so a lot of the emotions and a lot of the lyrical themes come from that, from what he's learned as being a father and a husband over the years, and just the things he sees in his job, how humanity sometimes is very evil to each other. And so really, he finds inspiration everywhere, which
this was this was the perfect cue to the next song. What's coming, right?
I think so. Yep.
for me, this song, I remember when I saw this video, I was so hooked on this video, even mostly as pictures, but it shows the true love of a father. And so beautiful. And this is Keep on Walking. And I hope there's a lovely story and not a sad story behind. But you let me know after the video. Here is Keep on Walking.
Since before you started talking, I've been right here with you walking. And I'll be with you all the way. Since before you started talking, I've been right here with you walking, and I'll be right there with you all the way. The tough times and the good ones, you've always seen the best ones. A guy like me could ever have. But I know you'll keep on walking after I'm on board forgotten. I get to get to see your face. But I hope that you'll remember the joy in life is simple. Got
the most beautiful ballad I heard this year, definitely. From the new album, New Messiah, Keep on Walking. This is Matt Barlow and his boys.
Yeah.
And it's so lovely to see them growing, from baby to nearly adults, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah. His kids are great, man. It's, I'm Uncle Freddie. So every time I see them, they get taller and they get bigger, and they're true young men now, and they're doing great. And, I love those kids. So this is a song Matt kind of came to me with. He had some acoustic patterns. He was strumming an acoustic guitar. He sent me a recording of it, and then the lyrics, and this is what he wanted to convey. And so I pretty much kept the changes, the patterns, everything he had. I just added some things to it, and then he wanted to be about his sons and how he's walking with them, holding their hands when they're little, they can't really walk, and then throughout life they're going on these journeys together, and he just wants to pass on all the knowledge he can to them so that when he's gone, his kids can repeat with their kids and stuff. And then once I saw, I had no idea. I just sent the record label the music, and they were going to work on the video. I had no idea that Matt was sending pictures and stuff. So when I first saw it, I was surprised as everybody else. I was like, wow, this is really cool, and it came out really beautiful. And it's an emotional song, it's an emotional video.
Absolutely. You know what I thought when I saw the video? I was so hooked on this video because it's so lovely. I was thinking maybe it's also the memory of Matt when he was on tour all the time, when as a musician, and you are away from the family, and I was thinking about the mother was there for the boys, and the father was on tour, and for because I think this was a time when so 18 years ago, when Matt was busy as a singer full time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of it in there, but it's more of like, it's more of passing on knowledge to his kids, kind of just, and also the bond between father and his sons, or any child, really. And then with that's probably one of my favorite leads that I've played, because my intent was to try to blend the styles of all three Iron Maiden guitarists. So I would try to do something that I think Dave Murray might have done, and something Adrian would have done, something Yannick would have done. Just kind of blend it all in there, because that was my
you
little
were the very first to mention Yannick Gers, because I have so many times we talk about Iron Maiden, and there's always Dave Murray and Adrian Smith, and nobody mentioned Yannick, and this is the first time. So
Yannick's amazing. I mean, he's been in the band longer than Adrian has at this point when Adrian left, but Yannick was on Bruce's solo stuff, and the guy's just a monster guitar player.
And the best pose of the except Bruce and Steve.
Yeah, he's entertaining.
Yeah, cool. All right, we go once again to 2022, Emperors and Fools, and this song Gone. And here we go.
Such a bitter pill.
This was Gone. Give me the story of Gone.
Yeah, this is. I think it's kind of funny because the previous album, Matt kind of came up with some guitar, some acoustic strumming and stuff, and I changed it into what you hear now as Gone as far as the music goes. But I said, okay, here, I took what you did and I sent it to him. He goes, yeah, I don't know, maybe not. I'm not really feeling it. I said, okay. Then we didn't put it on that album. So years later, when we're doing Emperors and Fools, I said, hey, I have this idea for the song. I sent it to him. He goes, yeah, that sounds great. And it was the same exact thing. So he wrote lyrics over that. And this one is about, it's another one, but it's about a father when he's no longer there, but he's watching over the family. So I guess, kind of the way the video was presented was, you see the family behind, which is those two little boys are my nephews. And the family's dealing with the father not being there. And then you see Matt, he's in these, beautiful scenic areas. So you can kind of picture or imagine where he is, So again, it's just another one of Matt's good old emotional songs that he can come up with. I don't have that in me, but he does a really good job at it.
Yeah, because he has the special voice. He has he can sing everything from heavy to soft, but always with his special voice. This is absolutely amazing. It fits so perfectly, and that's what I when I listened before the new album, the heaviness and the melody, it blends so perfectly. It's a very good mix.
We try to do that because it's it's boring to me to just hear the same thing through the whole album. Some people like it, some people, for me, and that's what Matt and I do. We write songs that we like and we would like to listen to. So that's why there's a lot of changes in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right. And now for the next song is a cover song, a very, very famous cover song. You gave the cover a complete new life. And I was the first ever who played the video. You know what song? Of course, it's from the EP. It's Dust in the Wind, and I told the story before because before the show was the first show was on the 1st January 2021, and before was my morning show. And Aki, he produced overnight the video, so I can present the video because Aki was my guest to feature Rock of Ages Records, and he wanted this video, and overnight they produced the video, and I was the very first to play it. And here is Dust in the Wind, and here we go.
Close my eyes, only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, the curiosity, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
All we are is
Yeah, what a great song. I always love the song. Even from Kansas or with Coppins, I always love the song because it's a special. You made a new version out of your own version.
Yeah, we were going to do the EP called Throne of Iniquity, and our intent was just to include that, our own song, and we were going to do the cover of Chicago's 25 or 624, which we did. That's all we were intending to do. But our label boss said, "Hey, I really like Dust in the Wind. Do you guys think you could do a cover of that?" So we said, "Yeah, why not? We'll do it." And then we were kind of pressed for time. So the acoustic parts, I didn't have the capability at my own home studio to record them cleanly. So I actually asked a friend of ours named Ray. He's 8 feet tall. So I asked a friend of ours named Ray, "Hey, can you record the acoustics at home? Because we have to have this done in like a week, and I can't do it at my house." And so he actually did the acoustic guitars, but everything else I like to take songs that weren't meant to be metal and make them metal. So we just try to find a way to make it heavy, but not over the top that it ruins the song. And I think it came out pretty well.
This has for me the same feeling with Sound of Silence, which has a special voice, and he has his special voice and brings this song to a next level. Yeah,
and it's there's death metal bands have covered old stuff and it sounds like death metal, but we didn't want to overdo it. We could have probably gone heavier if we wanted, but we tried to pay the song respect. And as far as anytime we do a cover, I try to stick to the exact notes that the original artist did. So, some bands will go and they'll play their own flashy lead over it. Yeah. I just try to respect what they did and do exactly what they did as best as I can.
We come now to the debut album from 2013, and this is now the first question: how you come together with Matt? Because Matt, of course, everybody knows him from Earth, and so what was your connection? How was Ashes of Ares-Alben formed?
So when Matt returned to Iced Earth in 2008, I joined Iced Earth as the bass player.
Okay.
So we were in the band until he left in 2011, and we just kind of bonded. We were always hanging out. We became fast friends throughout that whole time. We traveled the world together. So we had discussed, hey, if there's ever a point when we're both not in Iced Earth anymore, maybe do you want to maybe talk about getting together? And he was like, yeah, sure. So fast forward to 2012, he's out and I'm out. We got together at his house, and we just, he had some ideas, I had some ideas, we threw them together. And then the first song we ever wrote together was called This Is My Hell. And we wrote it in his garage. Our wives were sitting there watching, and we're like, yeah, I think we should do something. This is sounding pretty good. So that's what started it all. And then, Matt was friends with Van Williams for Nevermore for years. So we got together with Van and decided, hey, let's start this. Let's all three of us start this band together. And we worked on it, and the album came out a year later.
And exactly, this is the song. This is the start of a fantastic band. Here is This Is My Hell.
As I travel down this lonely road, so many signs I should have seen. As I've chosen never rise to meet the man I should have been. As I sit here huddled in the dark, a sullen face tattered clothes. Thoughts of you struggle to keep me warm in this night so bitter cold. Devastated all alone, of my sins I can't atone. Self-imposed, this is my hell. Forgotten souls, some 20 years, a vivid memory of your tears. Let me go, this is my can't control my inner rage. Now I'm down to live the day. For all time, this is my hell. I treat my soul for what I've done. I swear to Father and to Son. You were my world, this is my
This is my hell. This was the humble beginning. Who
Yeah,
thought,
it was.
2013. Now we are 2025. Now 4 albums, 1 EP. You
It's
toured around the
crazy.
world.
Yeah, and it's funny to think. I think I brought this to Matt's attention. I said, you've been in your own band longer than you were in Iced Earth now. So his whole time in Iced Earth, he's had Ashes of Ares longer. So it's kind of funny when you just look back at, wow, it's been a lot of years.
That is the chemistry, You can feel. Every great singer need his right hand man. Like John Bon Jovi, he needed Richie Sambora, for example, or Plant needed Jimmy Page, something like this, and there's so countless important. I mean, Ozzy was also important. He always needed a great guitar player, or Ronnie James Dio, always fantastic guitar players, and that's what Matt needed. He needed his partner in crime, he needed the guy, and you can hear it fits perfectly, and
yeah, we've got into a nice groove where we're at. The last few albums, it's really smooth. We communicate very well with one another. If I write something and he doesn't like it, it doesn't go. If he writes something and I don't like it, it doesn't go. So it's got to be a mutual respect. We never argue. It's great.
Yeah, we stick with the debut album. It calls Ashes of Ares, so it's the same title. And this is Dead Man's Plight. Here we go. Dead Man's Blight. So give me a short story, if possible.
Yeah, so that's it's our debut album. So I was writing a lot of stuff. I think I had written the music for this song years before, and I was going through some old recordings, and I said, "Oh, this might sound good." I send it to Matt, and then he puts his lyrics over it, and it's kind of about, he likes to sing about duality a lot, about good versus evil, and just like Dead Man's Blight, it's like, hey, you can go this path or you can go that path. So there's a lot of, you'll find that a lot in our lyrics. And as far as inspiration, I mean, there's some Pantera influence in there. There's some Spinal Tap in there. There's some weird things musically in there, but we spit out a bunch of songs and we said, yep, this one passes our test, so let's put it on the album. And
still the songs from today I played, some of them are still in the set list, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, with 4 albums now and 40 something plus songs, there's some songs we just haven't played live, and some songs we probably won't play live due to logistics. Like I have to bring a couple extra guitars and we just can't travel with them, things like that. But we try to, the songs that we know people have heard and respond to, we try to definitely include those in the set.
All right. Before we come to the last song, which is the first song again, I need a picture, because maybe the next time I see you 2027 or something like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready? Make some signs and I press the button. Got you. So, before we talk about the song, what is in the pipeline now for the band? Are you planning tour? You're in front of a tour, right?
Yeah. Today is Thursday. I leave Tuesday. So, we're doing, I think, 12 shows in 14 days over in Europe. And we're actually celebrating the Iced Earth Dark Saga album. So we're going to be playing the whole album front to back, all 10 songs off the Dark Saga. And we're going to play our own stuff before it and our own stuff after it, and maybe some other surprises here and there. So, our manager came up with the idea a couple of years ago. He's like, hey, the 30th anniversary of the Dark Saga is coming up, which is next year. So he said, what do you guys think about playing the whole album? We talked about it for a while, and we realized, we played a couple of Iced Earth songs in our set, and the crowd just loved it. So of course they would. So we just decided, we're doing it. And we got a pretty long set list ahead of us every night, but it's going to be very exciting, we think.
I think the fans love this because of course of Iced Earth, the music. This is same with Bruce Dickinson. His a solo set, and he plays one Iron Maiden song,
Mm-hmm.
and the people freaking out. What song? But songs he never played with the band, with Iron Maiden. And I love this.
Yeah, so it'll be special because the album's special to Matt, and with Iced Earth, I wasn't on the album obviously, but I think I've played most of the songs live on bass with the band, so it's gonna be a lot of fun for us.
Yeah. So last song, Wake of Vultures, once again, special story for the song for our viewers.
Yeah. So the lyrics are kind of about, how friends can, or anybody really can kind of turn on you and then pick at your bones like vultures would. It's kind of that kind of cautionary story, like be careful who you're with because they might just turn around and eat you. Musically on this album, what we did a lot of was kind of paying tribute to, a lot of the big 4 bands, but also any bands that have kind of, shaped who we've become. And so you're going to hear this song, a lot of Slayer, definitely a lot of Slayer, and that's just kind of our way of saying, tipping our hat and saying, thank you guys for the inspiration.
Cool. Yeah. Freddie, give Matt my love, say hello, and I wish you a fantastic tour. lot of sales. Ihr da draußen, I switch a little bit German, ihr da draußen, holt ihr das geile Album. Ich habe es komplett durchgehört. Ich liebe es. Das neue ist ein Killer-Album. There is no filler on this album. And you have everything on this album, from heavy stomping, double bass, heavy riffing, great vocals, and ballads. Everything on this album. Absolute cool. The new Messiahs. Very, very cool. Congratulations. Thank you so much for the interview. All the best. And
thank you.
Keep rocking, my friend. And I see you again. When? Because it takes years to see you always again.
I know. We'll figure it out.
All right. Thank you so much. This was Freddie from Ashes of Ares. And here is once again Wake of Vultures. Ich sage auch Tschüss und Gute Nacht zu alle da draußen. Macht es gut und Rock'n'Roll. Cheers.
This is Best of Metal, the ultimate blast from the underground. The hottest new videos, the rawest sounds, and the fiercest energy the metal scene has to offer. Every Monday night, when the clock strikes 8 p.m., It's time to unleash the beast. Hosted by your commander of chaos, Ritchie Newton. Turn it up, bang your head, and feel the pulse of real metal.
Between good and evil, between good and evil. innocence lying, the soldiers' mothers crying, your children sent to war, settling an old man's score. The spoils of war waiting, the spoils of war waiting.
Diese Show wurde euch präsentiert von Newton Artworks. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thank you for watching. We salute you.